Everyone remembers their first bike. The scraped knees. The overwhelming fear of falling. But this story isn't just about learning to ride. It's about learning when to let go. This is the story of the bike with training wheels. Ethan was 9 years old when he got the bike. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't fast, and it definitely wasn't cool. It had a bright blue frame, a small, cheerful bell, and 2 sturdy metal training wheels bolted tightly to the back. For Ethan, this bike was a constant reminder of what he wasn't. The other kids in the neighborhood, they had already moved on. No training wheels, no helmets, just pure speed and an effortless confidence that made them look like they were flying. Ethan noticed he couldn't help it. He desperately wanted that freedom, that feeling of being totally in control, totally unbound. But his bike rattled. Every turn was stiff and awkward. Every single ride was a clunky, noisy announcement to the world. You're not there yet. You're still a beginner. Ethan's father noticed too. He saw the longing in his son's eyes and the frustration in the way he pedaled. The question hung in the air, heavy with possibility and risk. He immediately pictured it all, the bike wobbling uncontrollably, the sudden tip, the rough pavement scraping his hands and knees, and worst of all, everyone watching, everyone seeing him fail. "What if I can't?" Ethan asked, his voice barely a whisper. His father didn't answer right away. Instead, he reached down, tightened a loose bolt on the chain guard, and checked the pressure in the tires. In that moment, Ethan understood. The training wheels weren't the real problem. The real problem was fear. Days turned into weeks, and the weeks started to feel like months. He got faster, his legs grew stronger, and his sense of balance improved dramatically, even with the extra support. On sharp turns, the metal wheels would scrape loudly against the pavement, throwing him off his line. When he went over bumps in the sidewalk, they would catch and jolt the entire bike, making the ride shaky and unpleasant. What had once been his protection, his safety net, was now actively holding him back. One afternoon, the lesson hit him hard. A younger child from down the street, maybe 6 or 7 years old, rode right past him. No training wheels. The kid was wobbly, a little unsteady, but undeniably free. Ethan stopped pedaling and just watched. For the very first time in his life, the idea of staying safe felt so much worse than the possibility of falling. That evening, Ethan walked into the garage with a new sense of purpose. He didn't call for his father. He didn't ask for help. He found the wrench hanging on its hook and walked over to his bike. His hands shook as he fit the tool over the first bolt. He put all his weight into it, and with a stubborn groan, the bolt began to turn. One by one, he loosened them until both training wheels came free. They hit the concrete floor with a loud final clatter. The bike looked different. It looked lighter, almost naked. It looked unfamiliar and completely unforgiving. He slowly pushed it out of the garage and onto the quiet street. There was no audience. No one was there to cheer him on. There was just him, his transformed bike, and the empty stretch of pavement waiting for him in the twilight. The first push was full of hope. It lasted all of 3 seconds. Ethan went down hard. His skin burned where it hit the asphalt, and his eyes started to water from the sting and the shock. He just sat there for a moment, staring at the bike lying on its side. This was it. This was the exact moment his fear had been warning him about for months, and yet he was still breathing. He was still alive. He was still perfectly capable of standing up. So he did. He brushed himself off, picked up the bike, and got ready to try again. The second attempt lasted a little longer, maybe 5 seconds. The one after that lasted 10. With each try, a little bit of the fear melted away, replaced by focus. And then something just clicked. Ethan stopped overthinking it. He stopped gripping the handlebars like his life depended on it. He let his body relax. He leaned into a turn, and to his absolute astonishment, the bike responded. It leaned with him. For the very first time, the street didn't feel like a threat. It felt like a path. He pedaled faster and faster, a smile spreading across his face as he felt the wind rush past. When he finally coasted to a stop at the end of the driveway, his father was standing there. He hadn't said a word. He didn't need to. The look on his face said everything. Years later, when Ethan was grown, he would understand the real lesson of that day. Training wheels aren't just for bikes. We have them all over our lives. They are the habits that keep us comfortable but stuck. They are the excuses we make to avoid taking a risk. Sometimes they are even people who, with the best intentions, never let us face a challenge on our own. They protect us when we're weak and just starting out, but if we keep them on for too long, they stop being support and they become our limits. Real growth requires risk. True confidence can only be built on a foundation of failures, and finding your balance is something that can only happen when the extra support is finally removed. So if you're holding on to something right now just because you're afraid to fall, ask yourself this one simple question: is it still helping you? Or is it just keeping you from truly moving forward? Sometimes, the only way to ride freely is to let the wheels come off. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more.